Hey guys, it's the bill collector. We're on bill, and I'm a collector. You 3 more days. Will Clark's number retirement ceremony. So I'm gonna be there. Some other no filter participants are gonna be there. We're gonna have ourselves a damn fine time. Nah, fine. But San Francisco fucking sucks, bro. Sorry. I know y'all, you live there, you might love it. Some of y'all just live there because you live there. But it's just more of a pain in the ass than anything when I go there. And I mentioned this before. The size of the fucking bum shits on the fucking street are like, holy fucking shit. I'm trying to pass a turd that fucking healthy at my age. Jesus fucking Christ. So, but we're not going to the Tenderloin. We're going to be, well, at an RV park because we're taking the old Coachman motorhome. 2001 Santara for its maiden boat voyage for me and my lady and the pup and do a little camping, leaving Friday morning, get there probably the afternoon, and then Saturday the game. Now parking, yeah, that was you go online and says RV parking available, blah, 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 blah. And then you go and it says oversized vehicles, you can't park here. So, needless to say, after the research, we just had to call the stadium over there and line up some oversized parking. And whammo, we in, son. We in, son. Or that's what's up. That's what's up. Show you a little picture of this beast. No. Well, there you go. That old dog right there. Zippity doo dah. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So maybe you saw that. Maybe you didn't. And that's fine and dandy. Show you the something else. I'm coming from Southern California. I'm just outside of Los Angeles. Maybe you've heard of Pomona, California. I don't live there, but I'm near there. And so yeah, check out the route, Racha. Yeah. Oh, of course. So, like in the for the sake of not showing my address, where I'll just erase the darn town and F it, in case you really want to know. And see what happens now. Here we go. Pulling up the route. Excuse me. So there we go. Wow. So we gotta have all that open to show you. It looks like you just get to know where I live. F it. There you go. Lots of driving up the five. So looking like a little beach view from the RV park. And then it says a 20-minute drive to Oracle. So who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? But that should be fun. And then up to Oregon for a couple days to visit some family. Right on. Well, oh yeah, this is fun. So my lady, my significant other, my partner, whatever we're allowed to call them these days, my possession, my property. Girl's my property. Not. But we don't even call each other names. Our slave name. My name is Muffin to her, and her name is Muffin to me, or Tiny. Forgot to mention, this Friday is my birthday, and so the game and the whole thing all working out just fine. Got me something from the adult store, and it's oh, not your father's root beer, and it's a cannabis infused non-alcoholic beverage. So cheers, and I ain't opening this around my desk. Cheers. Smells like root beer, tastes like chicken. Okay, okay. It's like a good root beer. Doesn't taste like somebody crunched up any weed leaves and filtered it in there. Tally ho. Thanks, Muffin. Now, here, see how this works. Yeah. So just because shameless promoting, I can't do that because this is my show. And you need to see my website. So let's go there. Bill Cormalis Jr., the website. Now, straight up, I'm already starting to get bubbles in my stomach, so may have to shamelessly belch into that microphone here in a minute. All right, so maybe you could see that. This is a picture I painted of Will the Thrill. As a matter of fact, that's the picture that I used for my episode art today. Maybe I've used it before, but I don't remember. Now, as you can see, we've got a whole selection of things you could do on my website. But first, let's read this. Modern baseball art is always looking to the future of baseball related art, while always keeping a firm grasp on the history of the game. Unique and eclectic, MBA's use of mixed media elements directly related to the game makes the artwork stand out and alone in the sports art market. There is a story and rich history to be told through baseball art, a history that links every type of person, gender, or race to a time of innocence and human development through the amazing sport of baseball. There is so much to learn about life through the game of baseball. Through art, I'm best able to share my story and all of the fantastic lessons about baseball I've learned with you. All right. So, and then on that homepage, it's just stating to check out the podcast that I'm doing right now on nofilter.net with the link. So, hey, got to tell some people about it. You know what I'm saying? Look, we all have social media pages, and my website is the biggest social media page I have. So, please go to billcormalisjr.com and check that out. But since you're here, I'm forcing you to check it out. So yeah, here we go. A little bit about the podcast on the front page. Oh shit. I need to put podcast, the bill collector, big right here. All right. So that's noted. Gotta do that. So naturally, and I'm a terrible businessman. Making art is easy. Selling it is the unnatural part. Easy to make. Blah blah blah. Look at me. Sell, sell, sell. Kind of like not in my DNA, but I have to fucking do it. So, like I said, I have a shop, and in this shop are things that I make. So, on this first page right here, this is the card art shop, and these are my handmade creations made with baseball cards, and they are for sale on the site. So, please have a look. You know, try to make the popular players, and sometimes they sell, and sometimes they don't. But hey, well, you gotta do some hustling sometimes. Well, you gotta have podcasts to sell yourself. Like, look at my personality. Look at my big, huge camera personality. huge. So I'm so exciting. Not, but let's go into the sports art print shop where you can get sports art prints by me. Look, everybody loves Pete Rose, right? No, not true at all. I heard Pete Rose can be an artist. An artist. He can. He was an artist. Hitman, Koufax, Will Thrill, Barry Sanders. Well, you can read your favorite All Stars art by Cars True. So please, BillCormalisJr.com. Check that out. I mean, the things that I'm into, you know what I mean? Uh, things that I've done in the past, shows, media that I've been mentioned in, things of that nature. So yeah, this is if you guys don't know, if I'm known for anything, it's my work in artistically promoting the history of the Negro Leagues. Like I said, through art. I'm not much of a writer, but you know, I'm an independent artist. So a lot of the stuff that I do, I have to do myself. So any copywriting, uh, it, 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 it's a pain in the ass to be creative sometimes. The only thing. Trust me, trust me, dude. Such a shitty student when I was young. I took and have passed every college course I have taken, but I didn't. It didn't lead to a degree. My heart wasn't into going to school after I was already done with fucking school. So, so anyways, yeah, I put a lot into laying my website out, as I didn't have somebody do it for me. So there's that. You've been forced to watch my shit if you pop up on this page. Let's see what's going on right here. Oh, hey, Stephen Luker in the chat box. Yeah, what a trip, dude. So my take on Mike Trout, Stephen Luker, who's a big time participant on the No Filter platform, he mentioned this injury that Mike Trout has, and I'm gonna just check this out. Mike Trout. It's some kind of rare back disorder or disease. So we're gonna check that out. It's a rare back condition, is what they're calling it. And just give me a moment as I. Okay, so. Oh, well, right off the bat, Mike Trout hasn't been in a game since the 12th. And there's apparently the return isn't close. So apparently he's having back spasms and was placed on the injured list. And let's see. I wish that would just stay still. Oof. Placed on the injured list and said he was having a diagnosis of rib cage inflammation. And apparently, a week's gone by, and there's no real clarity on when he's going to return. And what it's called is a costovertebral dysfunction at the T5. And that's according to Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register. And Angels head trainer Mike Frosted explained the condition, saying it's a pretty rare condition that he has right now in his back. One of the most well known spine surgeons in the country, if not the world, doesn't see a lot of these. For it to happen in a baseball player, we just have to take into consideration what he puts himself through with hitting, swinging on a daily basis just to get prepared, and then also playing in the outfield, diving for balls, jumping into the wall, things like that. So he's gotten a cortisone shot, and they're gonna reevaluate that. That's too bad. Uh, but what I have seen is a decline in the games Mike Trout's playing every year. And guess what? We don't get younger. Keep getting older. But there is that old fountain of youth that I believe baseball just uplifted the ban on. We know what the fountain of youth is. We'll just leave it at that. So more to come on Mike Trout's latest injury. As last year, Mike Trout, look, I'm not even gonna go into it. I believe he missed pretty close to half a year or more with a calf injury. So, Mike Trout's human, guys, in case you didn't know. He's a regular human that can play the fuck out of baseball. And he hasn't played the fuck out of any baseball since July 12th. So let's hope they can figure out what's going on with Big Mike. Like I said, not getting any younger, man. And that's the problem with injuries. It's like tougher and tougher to not be hurt. I mean, like seriously. I mean, just sleeping makes my back hurt. So imagine playing baseball all year long. Oh yeah. So last week I had kind of gone into the Will Clark Giants baseball card binder, and I think we got about. Well, we didn't even get halfway through. I'm just gonna jump right back into it. I've been collecting Will Clark since 1989, and and then he left the Giants. He was on the Texas Rangers in 1994. So he played 8 fine seasons in San Francisco with the Giants. And then, like I said, off to Texas. I've had to clarify this more times than I care to. My teen years, you didn't see me in a Dodger hat. You saw me in whatever baseball hat Will Clark was wearing. So he went to the Rangers. I wore a Rangers hat. I didn't wear a Dodgers hat. So there was this assumption that I was a Giants fan. I wasn't. I was a Will Clark fan. And when Will Clark wasn't a Giant, I didn't give two fucks about the Giants. My favorite player went to a different team. I was a Dodger fan in the first place. So there, clarified again. Um, but I have been a diehard Will Clark fan ever since I started, and it's pretty cool that they're finally retiring that number for 22. The reason my favorite Dodger, Clayton Kershaw, wears the number. If you didn't know, so that to me is long overdue. 22 people had worn that number ever since he retired. 22 people. So, you know, we're creeping up on 30 years since Will Clark hasn't been a Giant. And well, let's just say the people have spoken and he's getting his. So that's awesome, man. You know, and like I said, like sports teams, it's funny how most people's sports, their favorite sports team is usually located around where their mom couldn't possibly hold you in her vagina any longer. And then you're born, like, what I live for. I'm a Los Angeles Dodger fan because my mom had me like an LA County fool. But then you get those those motherfuckers that are born feet first, and they like the teams on the opposite side of the country they were born. So really weird, really weird. I mean, your mom could have fucking squatted down and had you in Utah, teams in Utah. You get no teams in Utah. But like I said, it's the closest team to where your mom couldn't possibly hold you in between your legs any longer. That's my take on baseball teams, sports teams altogether. Excuse me. All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to switch that camera to the overhead and we'll go ahead and check this stuff out. Now, you guys remember this? Shit. The Grand Slam Denny's cards. Yeah, man, this was what was that? 1990, 1980. No, probably this is like the 90s. But yeah, me and my friends would party and get hammered and then go sober up at the Denny's and get us some baseball cards. I mean, that in itself is a stark contrast, like getting shit faced, hammered, drunk at a party, and then getting some baseball cards. Stark contrast. I mean, but that's kind of like that little crossover area where you're doing both, and then you start getting your dick wet, and then the baseball cards are bye bye. So depends on what you want to do. Some people never get their dick wet, and then well, they never stop collecting baseball cards either. Getting your dick wet leads to trouble. We all know that. How the fuck you think I'm a grandpa already? Getting that wet from nowhere. We have kind of been scrolling through the paninis, and a couple episodes back, I did go over the history of panini, and I don't know, they're kind of the, how can I explain it? Well, they're the foreigners in the kind of holding up some of the American game of sports cards. So go into my archive and check out the Panini history episode. If you give one half of a shit, yeah. So I kind of appreciate the. Well, here we go, man. Here we go. And I think this is for a lot of us. Is we like the stuff we liked when we were kids. At least I do. Reason being is when I was doing this at the time, when I was in my middle teens, um, this shit was just way cooler. So, anyways, that's why I like it. I like the stuff that even look, even the bikes that I ride. I like. I'll buy bikes from when I was a kid, like the bikes that I thought were cool when I was a kid, and fix that bike up. It's all a nostalgic feeling, man. Like, look, trust me. We all of us kids came from different home situations. I mean, straight up. All of my friends had different situations at home, right? And then, but when everything was the same and cool and all that when we're doing this, when we were doing our hobby, we're all like on a level playing field. When we're at when we're congregated and we're trading, we're all the same level. So at least for my friends in my group, we were all fairly the same socioeconomically, middle class, lower middle class. But remember when there was a fucking middle class? So that, you know, that's why times were better. Why times were better. Like my dad could have a truck driver job, keep my mom at home to pick all our stupid asses up from school. So, but anyways, back to the baseball cards. That's why I like the stuff from when I was a kid. So for me, Panini was these stickers. They weren't really cards. They were literal stickers. And oh, and in Italy, where Panini is originally from, they call them figurines. So that's you learned something today if you watched figurines. And then Panini bought Don Russ, and they produced Don Russ cards. But since Topps is the only company with the Major League Baseball licensing, Panini can't show the logos. So that's what's going on with it. But back in the day, look, you can clearly see they were able to carry the license at one time. Then when the card boom hit, honestly, I think this shit made it to Superior Court. I honestly do. You quote me on it if I'm wrong. But I believe the whole card episode junk wax era boom made it to Superior Court, and Topps was the only one after the smoke cleared that was granted the Major League Baseball licensing. And that's why Topps since then has been the only company to be able to produce the stuff with the logos on it. All right. Now, I feel like, all right, you see this right here. This is based on the 80s. This is an 87 Topps card that I brutalized and made my own art out of it. And I feel like the 87 Topps gets a lot of shine. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. And I told you before, I prefer the 1986 Topps. 1986 Topps is my favorite Topps of my era. But I like the Fleer and the Don Russ cards a little bit better. And I don't know. Was that? I think that's the update. Yeah, update. Set in the 1986 Fleer, and I just always thought the Fleer. Well, okay, look. So when I was young, that 87 Tops, I mean 87 Fleer card, this was the card to get. Um, at one point, this card got up to over $35, and it was the card to get. Like I said, matter of fact, I bought my first copy, that one right there, in like 1990 for like $17. Trip out, $17, and it ain't worth that now. Tell you that much. But needless to say, even back then, I didn't really collect cards for selling. I'm just a collector, not a seller. But I mean, just take a look at this one page. This is between. I think this is nine. That might be it. Yes. Sans that card. These are Fleer's offerings from 1986 and 87 for Will Clark. And like I said, that alone, that is what led to the boom. So many things, so many cards being printed. I mean, like crazy. Good for the collector, bad for the seller. Bad for the collector that was collecting them for investment purposes. It's not an investment, it's a 100% liability. But yeah, Will was at one point the most popular player in the league, and the card offerings reflected this. All right. Fleer Provisions, I believe that is called. Don't know that that's the 100% truth, but needless to say, I was pretty fond of that card and the artwork. Although he's gonna pop up that thing like a motherfucker. So yeah, we will just forgive and forget so the hemorrhoids don't flare up. Bobby Bonilla Day just happened. He's still getting paid. Still getting paid. Still getting paid. Art. So we're at the Fleer Ultra stuff. Fleer, Flare, Fleer Ultra, Fleer, 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 Fleer Superstars, Fleer Great, Fleer Heritage Collection, Collector's Edition, Fleer Greats of the Game. Holy mother! Like I said, lots of offerings. Score, pretty fucking ugly. I got the Saved by the Bell fucking score design right there. But they gradually got better. Um, Not too bad. The black and whites were dope. The art cards were fresh. That's a clean landscape baseball card right there. Another one of the, I think those were the All Stars. Oh, Dream Team series. All right. And I need to, this is not off topic because I'm talking about the collection, but so you saw this right here. This is like a dust cover. It basically just covers the tops of all of the cards when it's basically standing in a bookshelf. The second layer of protection is I took like the penny sleeves and I just kind of cut them like yay big. Oh, this one goes clear down to here. Cut the bottom off, kind of cut a slight angle so I can push it over the top of the card. So the top of the card is protected also from dust. Franchise player. Little mini one, yes. Did I have that card already? I mean, there's so many cards in here. So at this point, uh, if I'm going to start buying, like if I go on to eBay, let's just say I Jones and I need to get onto eBay and look for some Will Clark cards that I don't have. You know, started when I first started collecting again in 2016, pretty easy for me to recognize what I didn't have because in 2016, I believe, well, I just had one binder full of Will Clarks. So like I said, it was easy for me to recognize what I didn't have at that point. At this point, it's a different beast. So the lesson that I learned with not going into the catalog, that's what this is, it's catalog. And in this catalog, I keep all unique items in here. So you're not gonna come across, and like I said, just 2 seconds ago, I saw this card. I was like, whoa, 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 hold on. So I got this in here again. And I had to come back and look because that's not what the binder is for. The binder is for unique cards, everything different. And then I keep all of my duplicates in boxes. I have boxes and boxes. And I'm, believe me, I've gobbled up many, many collections to obtain what I have. And so all those duplicates are, I mean, I probably have 100 duplicates of like 89 upper decks and 88 Dawn Rusts. Just, but that's besides the point. So the catalog here is to be the place I can go to sift through and see if I don't have something. And believe me, I have to go through every page, flip, 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 and just look at every single card. And I did mention, if you see duplicate in this book, it's just to finish out the page. Because when all of these pages are on top of one another, you want everything to lay as flat as possible. So when you got gaps, cards won't lay in there. So I know I have this already. I already know it. So when I go through and I make my what do I remember? My unique items count. So when I go through and say I have X amount. So the last count that I made, I was probably nearing 1,500 different Will Clark items, different things. That's what I'm going for. Different items. And so a lot of the items that I do have duplicates with, like let's say if they're not in the box, those will be the items that I will visually exhibit throughout the house. Um, let's see, like that. You see, so some of those are duplicates. I will take like those duplicates and make the card art with it. Those will be the donors for cutting up. Shit. There we go. So yeah, now it's more of a process when I'm buying stuff. Is that so what my process is I will go on eBay or whatever source I'm going, and I will spot identify things that don't look familiar to me. So that one's not ringing a bell. I'll put it in my shopping cart. And then when I'm done with that process for the moment, I will then open up my shopping cart and then come into the office here. And if it's a Giants card, I'll break out this binder here with the Giants cards, flip through this. And if I don't see it in here, then you know, good chance I'm going to purchase it to add it to here. And so on and so forth. If it's a Rangers, Orioles, or Cardinal card, I will refer to those specific albums. I do collect and hoard the rookie cards, so those would be the only cards that I will intentionally sleeve up. So I have a separate binder for any high school, college, or um, Olympic items, plus the rookies. So that's a folder in its own. But yeah, so that's a process. I can't just go blindly and willy nilly being confident in what I have because it's at the point where there's so many items that it's really easy to get confident and then buy something fucking twice or even three times because you're just so confident. So, anyways, I'm really not in the business of. Well, I'm not in the business at all. I'm in the hobby of. Hobby and business are two different things. All right, at the upper deck section. Yeah, so when Upper Deck came out, it was the greatest thing since putting whiskey in the baby baba for night times for babies. In the 1800s. Nowadays, you just give your kids NyQuil. But anyways, off of plying babies. All Star. See what that one's saying. We'll read the back of that card. Excuse me. The man known as the Thrill, Will Clark, made his fourth appearance in the All Star game in only his sixth major league season. In the National League's closest race of this year's balloting, Will's 1,534,203 votes barely beat out division rival Fred McGriff of the San Diego Padres, who had the support of 1,474,502 fan votes. Will entered the All-Star break with 15 round trippers, fourth in the league, and 59 RBIs, second in the league. After enduring an early slump, Will battled his way towards the top 10 in hitting with a 295 batting average at the break and a 341 road average, second best in the senior circuit. Having gone hitless in his first two All-Star games, Will had one of two National League hits in 1990. In this year's contest, his single to right in his first at bat kept the rally alive that eventually scored the first NL run. All right, so it's a little bit hard to read with some reflection, and it looks like Not My Father's Root Beer is starting to kick in. So angle that towards me. Is that a little bit of sand? That was sick hard, man. Another grand slam right, Cha. We'll throw a home run, Trot. You know that. Know that. You know, San Francisco Giants are douchebags for not like running with that for at least 2 more years. Williams, Bonds, and Clark. But the business of baseball is purely business. And you really start to realize that when you're an adult. That's it. It's just a business. Some teams don't give a shit if they win or not. The baseball hero sets are pretty cool. I think I've got that in a couple different variations. This is in here because it's a Will Clark cameo on a Matt Williams card. Whoa, it looks like Matty just hit a grand slam right there. So I say that because he's here, and it looks like somebody else is getting ready for a fist bump or knuckles right there. So that was Matt Williams. 20 home runs, 66 RBIs. That was a full season too. 92, 90, 33, 122. Matt Williams was a beast. I met him. Really cool guy. All right. I don't know to replace that BZ with some. I'll just keep it right there. Who cares? Who cares? Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to just come out and say it. I mean, regardless if they well, there's a game shot right there. Some of the cleanest, most crisp baseball photos I've ever seen. I feel like they capture Will Clark's personality too. Yeah, yeah. Cracking shit, son. Grotto. But yeah, once again, that number right there, 22, and not a single person is going to get to wear that number again, as it should be. I mean, I feel like Giants fans knew this all along, but Will Clark is the era. You know, the Giants, I guess, sucked in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And when he got to the team, it was like the beginning of turning that organization around. That's it. 3 World Series championships later, and now the team is retiring that number for good. The least they could do. I mean, Will Clark is a fixture with the Giants to this day. Active, active with the club. The ambassador. Shit. Willie Mays is old. I don't know if Barry Bonds is getting out there too much. Will's the guy. Will's at the stadium. Will's shaking hands as a representative of the San Francisco Giants. And he's also here on the No Filter Network, virtually shaking hands with us too. So, good things for good guys. Will seems like a real good guy. He is a good guy. Did nothing but cool to me. Oddball section. Probably raised my blood pressure as a kid, munching down that King B shredded beef jerky. I'll tell you what. Ah, Will Clark with a mustache. It's some funny shit, dude. El Clarko. Go watch Deuce's Wild episodes. If you're a Will Clark fan, go watch some Deuce's Wild episodes to find out why he's got a mustache at times. Deuce's Wild on No Filter. Check it out. Some of this stuff, like I didn't know what Hills was. But Hills is some kind of department store in the Midwest, I guess. Drake's. Look at see. I don't know what half that. I don't know what that is. Oh, is that a duplicate? I hope not. But I used to be stoked when the companies would come out with cards and one, you buying the product, and two, you hopefully getting something you want. And until the memory fades, I have the memory of it. So there's that. Once again, if you've ever contributed to the Clark collection, I'll want to remember that. So I'll put who gave it to me. So my friend Greg, he sent that to me, and lucky for me, I didn't have the perforated card yet. I only had the regular card. Sport Flicks, kind of cool. Clark said he used to practice bunting a lot. And that's because he was a leadoff hitter at some point in his career. But a very useful tool in if they ever put the shift on you. If you're that predictable of a hitter and they put the shift on you, knowing how to bunt might serve you right. Lots of these oddball sets came out. I've still got a couple to obtain. Can't wait for the game. I'll be stoked to be my first game at Oracle Park, which is I've walked around the stadium before, in which you can see the inside of the stadium as well. So it's a very, very nice park, as well as seeing it on TV. So that should be amazing. The weather's supposed to be around 65 degrees this weekend. Don't mind me as I'm just flying by here, talking about the game and stuff. But yeah, 65 with some clouds. Sounds like a typical San Francisco night. And looking forward to it. Cards in there. What's going on here? That's weird. I typically don't like to double cards up just to keep that sleeve tight. Because we all love to slip it in when it's still tight. Baseball cards. We are getting ready for the conclusion of the Will Clark Giants binder. I'm on a Will Clark Collectors Facebook page, and it's like just when you think your collection is crazy or big or out of control or whatever it is, then you always find somebody I think a little bit more bonkers than you. And so my collection's pretty much limited to kind of what you could obtain in the normal world. like baseball cards and magazines and things that I've saved along the way. And then there's those people that get a hold of high school yearbooks. And I know somebody that has Will Clark's very first contract with the San Francisco Giants. Like he owns that. I don't know. It's you gotta know where to find that shit. Like anyway, so we all have our avenues and we all have what it is that we're collecting. I've said it before. I'm just not trying to. I'm just not trying to spend a lot of money doing it. So I got a pretty good budget collection. That, well, like I said, I'm more exploring the talking about the hobby aspect of the hobby. So that's all. That's all. Just focusing more on talking about it and making content based around it rather than the actual collecting the cards right now. I've got like I said, if I just talked about the things that I already have, I've got a lot to talk about. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. All right. And next week, my friend Jeremy Eggleston from the YouTube show Mint Out of the Box to discuss things and some stuff. I want to talk. So yeah, if any no filter participants catch this a little bit later, hit me up at Modern Baseball Art and at Will Clark Collector on Instagram, where I'm connected with a bunch of you anyways. And some of you have already reached out and let us know where you're going to be tipping them back before the game. So maybe we'll see you out there. And yeah, congratulations to Will Clark once again, number 22 for the San Francisco Giants, being hung up in the rafters for forever. His number now. All right. Thanks for watching The Bill Collector. Ron Bill, and I'm a collector. Have a good one, guys.